Black people were learning just fine prior to 1954. They did not desegregate public schools so Black children could get a better education. They desegregated Black schools because they were concerned about the growth of Black excellence. Keep in mind, we invented the gas mask before we went to school with white children. We invented the stoplight before we went to school with white children. We invented the refrigerated truck before we went to school with white children. They did not desegregate to help us. They desegregated to hinder us. They saw Black Wall Street in Tulsa. They saw Black Wall Street in Rosewood. They saw Black Wall Street in Wilmington, North Carolina. They saw Black Wall Street in Charleston. They saw independent Black communities even here in Ohio. And they decided that if we want to stop the progress of Black people, we must take over control of their children's education. And when they desegregated the schools, they did not bring Black teachers with Black students. The biggest layoff in public education is between 1954 and 1974 of Black teachers. They brought our children into the schools. They fired the teachers. And so when our Black children were bused into white schools, having to deal with not only bigoted white students, but bigoted white teachers, there was no Black teachers in there to protect them. And because many school districts said, we're not going to integrate. We don't care what you say. So the federal government came up with a plan called special education. And in 1974, they invented special ed to give white school districts the opportunity to make money off of the miseducation of Black children. And basically the agreement was, take these Black children into your white schools. We will let you resegregate, but you can't do it based on color. We're going to give you 13 disabilities. And the main disability has been the so-called learning disability. And if you get your white racist school psychologists who still work in Cleveland schools today to evaluate these Black children and call them reading disabled, math disabled, comprehension disabled, intellectually disabled, emotionally disabled, you can separate them from the white children in a class of their own. So special education was created to undo the effects of desegregation. Now, let me say this. Black boys don't need a special school. Black boys don't need a special curriculum. Black boys don't need a special education. The problem is they have flipped this situation on its head, and they have the Black community looking at our boys as if they are the problem. Nothing's wrong with Black boys. The problem is the white teachers, who are 67% of Cleveland's teachers, don't care about the Black boys they teach. So you should be intervening with the white teacher. But because of Snow Bunny privilege, she cannot be blamed. The white woman cannot be blamed for the failure of Black boys. So what do? We let them blame our boys for why they can't read. We let them blame our boys for why they can't count. We let them blame our boys for why they can't sit still. And nobody ever points a finger at the racist white teacher. Public education is the only industry in America where the customer is blamed for not getting the product they paid for. When you go to the supermarket and your food is spoiled, you go back to the supermarket. When you buy an automobile and your car doesn't work, you go back to the auto shop. But when Black kids come home and can't read, we don't look at the teachers, we blame them.